Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Akiela Shahida from Accounting student in State University of Jakarta. In this video, I would like to present my internship report on Human Resource Management Division of PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia. Okay, here are the table of content of my presentation. There are Chapter 1 Introduction, Chapter 2 Internship Press Overview, Chapter 3 Internship Implementation, and Chapter 4 Conclusions and Suggestion. Okay, next, Chapter 1 Introduction, Internship Background. Science is one of the many human stuff that are expected to provide an understanding of various things and processes that occur around them. As a learner as well as student, knowledge is the most important thing to be absorbed and interpreted. The knowledge that has been obtained during the study period will not be carried out properly if it is not accompanied by practice. Given the importance of actualizing knowledge, the implementation of knowledge in the form of practice is seen as necessary as a benchmark to find out whether the knowledge obtained has been truly understood in its entirety, but theories and concepts, not just theory. Through the process of actualizing knowledge, individuals will learn to implement the theory they understand and learn to adapt the theory to the reality they face. In order to actualize knowledge as well as increase understanding, the Bachelor's of Accounting Study Program, Faculty of Economics, State University of Jakarta, provides opportunities for students to carry out internship. Internship is also an opportunity for students to absorb as much knowledge as they cannot get in lectures. Through internships, students also have the opportunity to adapt to the realities of the world of work that they will face in the future. Students are faced with how to uphold professionalism, responsibility, and integrity. On this occasion, practitioners had the opportunity to carry out internship activities in the Human Resource Management Division of PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia. Practitioners are interested in doing internship in that place because practitioners have an interest in financial management of BUMN, especially in the field of human resource. The implementation of internship in BUMN is one of the right choices because this government agency really accommodates every apprentice who wants to learn a lot and broaden their horizon. Okay, the purpose of carrying out this internship activity is as follows. First, complete the internship course with a week of 2 credits as well as a graduation requirement. Second, develop student skills in terms of developing soft skills as well as in communication. Third, provide the ability to work with teams and understand various characters. And fourth, give an idea of the dynamic world of work. Okay, the objective of carrying out this internship activity is as follows. First, increase knowledge, insight, and general description of the application of accounting in the world of work. Second, knowing whether students can understand the accounting science that has been studied. Third, preparing Jakarta State University students to be better prepared to enter the world of work. The benefit of internship for practitioners are follows. First, become a means of actualization of practical knowledge based on the knowledge that has been obtained during lectures in the accounting study program. Second, become a means for practitioners to obtain knowledge based on experience in conducting work practice at PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia. Third, get to know real condition and learn to integrate into the real world of work. Fourth, develop a mindset, understand how to coordinate according to ethics, learn to work together in teams, and cultivate a sense of responsibility for the trust given. The benefit of internship for Faculty of Economics UNJ are as follows. First, become a means of relation as well as the introduction of the Faculty of Economics State University of Jakarta to the company towards the ownership of competent and valuable human resource. Second, become a reflection material to find out whether the existing learning curriculum is relevant to the needs in the world of work. And third, become a means of increasing and developing in the competence of students graduate from the Faculty of Economics State University of Jakarta in order to be competitive. The benefits of internship for PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia are as follows. First, obtaining the help of super personnel within the applicable period of time. Second, become a means of relations as well as the introduction of the company to the State University of Jakarta. Third, open opportunities to find human resources that have the potential to be recruited into employees. Practitioners have the opportunity to carry out internship activities at one of the non-bank financial institutions, which is a state-owned enterprise or BUMN engaged in the guarantee sector, namely PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia. Practitioners carry out internship activities at PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia for 40 working days starting from 5th of August 2021 until 1st of October 2021. The working hours of the practitioners start from 7:30 a.m. and at 15:30 p.m. if working system is work from office, or 16:30 p.m. if working system is work from home, from Monday to Friday. In this activity, the practitioners go through 3 stages, namely the preparation, implementation, and reporting stage. Chapter 2, Internship Plus Overview. General History. PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia is a state-owned enterprise or BUMN which focuses on business activities in the field of credit guarantee. The establishment of PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia starts from the condition of cooperative development, which is still quite lagging behind compared to the other two economic actors, BUMN and private. Seeing this condition, the government established the Cooperative Credit Guarantee Institution or LGKK in 1970, which in its development was changed to the Public Company for the Development of Cooperative Finance or Perum PKK through Government Regulation number 51 dated December 23, 1988, which was later defined by PP number 27 dated May 31, 1985. Over time and related to the successful implementation of the function and duties of Perum PKK in developing cooperative third credit guarantee activities, the government expand the range of Perum PKK service to not only be limited to cooperatives but also to include micro, small, and medium enterprises through PP number 95 dated 7 November 2000. And at the same time change the name of Perum PKK to Public Company or Perum for Business Development Facilities or SPU. Then in May 2008, through Government Regulation number 41 that 19 May 2008 for Perum SPU changed its name to the Indonesian Credit Guarantee Public Company or Perum Jamkrindo. The name change was made in view of the change in the company's business, which no longer provides loans directly to MSMEK through a profit-sharing patterns, but only focus on the MSME credit guarantee business. The President of the Republic of Indonesia, Joko Widodo, has officially changed the legal entity of the Indonesian Credit Guarantee Public Company or Perum Jamkrindo into a limited liability company through Government Regulation number 11 of 2020 that February 14, 2020 regarding the change of form of Indonesian Credit Guarantee Public Company or Perum into a limited liability company or PERSERO, which was promulgated on 17th of February 2020. This decision was confirmed by the decree of the Minister of Law and Human Rights of the Republic of Indonesia concerning the ratification of the establishment of the legal entity of the limited liability company Persero PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia or abbreviated as PT Jamkrindo Persero. The deed of incorporation of the PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia Persero was signed at the Ministry of State Building, Jakarta on February 24, 2020. Then, based on the Government Regulation number 20 of 2020 concerning the addition of the Republic of Indonesia state equity participation into the share capital of the company Persero, PT Bahana Pembinaan Usaha Indonesia Persero change the legal entity status of PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia Persero to PT Jamkrindo and officially become a subsidiary of BUMN Holding Insurance and Guarantee. Okay. And the vision of PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia is become the main choice of business actors in guarantee service to support the growth and equalization of the national economy. And the mission of PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia is improving the financial accessibility of UMKMK through the provision of innovative, competitive guarantees with professional service, effective and efficient in a sustainable manner. And the corporate value is akhlak. That's mean trustworthy, competent, harmonious, loyal, adaptive, and collaborative. Okay, this is Human Resource Management Division organization structure. First, the head of the Human Resource Division is held by Mrs. Siti Maisaro, and then the head of Policy and Human Resource Management is held by Mrs. Santi Dwinanti, and the head of Human Resource Operation is held by Mr. Muhammad Rizal Shahrudin, and the head of Learning and Human Research Development is held by Miss Helena Lydia Margareta Simanjunta. Okay, next, agency general activities. PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia generally carries out guarantee business activities for micro, small, and medium enterprises, as well as cooperatives, guarantees for state-owned enterprises, warehouse receipt guarantees, and other guarantees, as well as optimizing the utilization of the company's resources based on corporate governance principle. Okay, next, chapter 3, internship implementation. Field of work. Practitioners carry out internship activities at PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia for 40 working days. During the implementation of this internship program, the practitioner is placed in the Learning and Human Research Development Division, Human Research Management Division. The section occupied by the practitioner is led by Miss Helena Lydia Margareta Simanjuntak, who is responsible for employee development and training. Employee development and training is realized through the participants in training or the provision of in-house training programs, which of course cannot be separate from expenses. In carrying out this internship, the practitioners is guided by Miss Helena and other staff in the part where the practitioners work. When carrying out internship activities, the work that the practitioner does is as follows. First, create a payment memo via SnapJam application. Second, recapitulate the salary of interns. Third, create a list of recipients of employee internet assistance package. Fourth, create a cash expenditure budget authorization form for the Human Research Learning and Development section. And last, make a honorarium payment application. Okay, next, work implementation. First, create a payment memo via SnapJam application. At PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia, the payment order is commonly referred to as the Memorandum for Submission of Payments. The memorandum is submitted to the Accounting Division as the party that makes the recording and expenditures, and to the Finance and Investment Division as the party who will make the payment. The proposed payment must be based on the basis of the procurement of activities and approved by the Head of Learning and Human Research Development and the Head of the Human Research Division. This payment submission memorandum was made using a platform that accommodates correspondence and administration at PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia, namely SnapJam application. The steps that the practitioners take during the payment application process are as follows. First, practitioners ensures the completeness of the file that is the basis for the payment submit. Second, practitioner opening the SnapJam application at the eoffice.jamkrindo.co.id link, then logging in using a registered username and password or employee username, and after logging in, the initial view of the SnapJam application will appear. Next, practitioner clicks on the Create Memorandum menu, and after that, a memorandum creation display will appear. Next, practitioner fills the two columns with the accounting division, and the finance and investment divisions fills the from column with the human research division, fills the examiner column with the head of the human research learning and development section and the head of the human research division, and for the copy and attachment column tailored to the needs. And next, practitioner writes a letter requesting payment submission in the contents of the letter column, which contains information with the truth. Next, practitioners upload the necessary files as the basis for the payment submit. Next, practitioner fills out the comment column address to the head of the Human Research Learning and Development Department in order to correct and approve the memorandum that has been made. And last, once all the contents and attachment of the memorandum are confirmed to be correct, the practitioners clicks on the submit. Okay, here are the SnapGem application start view and SnapGem application view after login. And next, here are the memorandum initial data filling. You can see there is kepada column dari, tembusan, pemeriksa, perihal, and then beside of this there is memorandum content creation in isi surat column. And next, this is the process of uploading of supporting files and consent requests. And here is the example of payment submissions memorandum through SnapGem application. Okay, the second work implementation is recapitulate the salary of interns. Based on the memorandum of the Human Research Division number B1550/ENT/SDM/DLT/9/2021 regarding the submission of PMMB PKS with universities, it is stated that the provisions for the delivery of an apprenticeship allowance per day of 140,000 rupiah, the interns at the head office are paid directly by the head office through a memorandum to the accounting division and the finance and investment division. As for apprentice at regional office and branch office, pocket money is paid by the regional office or branch concerned by charging this cost to the Human Research Learning and Development Division budget for that year. The step that the practitioners take during the recapitulation process and the application of pocket money are as follows. First, practitioners checks the attendance list of interns. Practitioners check this in the Google Drive folder, where every month interns are required to collect a list of internship attendance as a requirement for pocket money receipts. Second, practitioners makes an accumulation of the presence of interns on Microsoft Excel application. If the intern works a full day, both WFO and WFH, it will get a 1 day salary. As far if the intern permits is sick or there is no information, it is considered not to receive as much salary as the day he or she permits, sick, or no information. Next, practitioner multiplies the number of internship attendance by the nominal per day obtained, which is 140,000 rupiah. And next, practitioner attach the internship's personal data in the form of full names, work units, and account number to make it easier for parties who will pay pocket money later. And last, practitioners makes a memorandum of application for honorarium or salary payment on the SnapGem application by attaching the results of the recapitulation of allowance receipts that have been made before. The memorandum is addressed to the accounting division and the finance and investment division for further processing. Okay, here is the present list recapitulation, and this is calculation of the amount of salary in Microsoft Excel. And next, this is the example of memorandum of application for salary payments. Okay, next, the third work implementation is create a list of recipients of Employee Internet Assistance Package based on the memorandum of the Human Resource Division number B579/ENT/STM/4/2020 date 23rd of April 2020 regarding the provisions for the implementation of the distance learning program. It was conferred regarding the technical implementation of the distance learning program. One of the points that's in the memorandum was training participants or company employees will receive assistance to purchase internet data package of 50,000 rupiah for each online training program with the maximum provisions that the assistance is 200,000 rupiah per participants per month. In this case, the practitioner is assigned to make a recapitulation of the recipients of the Internet Assistance Package for the employees who attend their training and submit the payment. The steps that the practitioner takes during the recapitulation process of recipients of the Employees Internet Assistance Package are as follows. First, practitioners records what training is carried out for 1 month. Considering the recapitulation of Internet Assistance Package is done once a month. The data collection process is carried out by practitioners by checking the 2021 training recap spreadsheet. Second, practitioners ensures the correctness of the list of participants participating in the training in the month to the PIC of each training. And third, if the data is confirmed to be correct, the practitioners recapitulates the list of recipients of the internet package in that month in the Microsoft Excel application. And next, practitioners checks whether there are employees who receive internet package assistance that exceeds the maximum specified limit. The maximum amount of the internet package assistance received by each employee is 200,000 rupiah per month. Next, practitioners updates the data that has been recapitulated on the 2020 Training Internet Data Package Assistance Record spreadsheet to facilitate the monitoring process during 2021. And next, practitioner applies for payment of recipients of Internet Assistance Package through a memorandum to the accounting divisions and the finance and investment divisions. Yeah, and here is the education and training recapitulation 2021 in spreadsheet Microsoft Excel. And this is calculation of the amount of money interest assistance package in Microsoft Excel too. Okay, next, this is the supervision of recipients of internet aid package money. Okay, and next, this is the example of memorandum of application for payment of internet assistance package money. Okay, next, the fourth work implementation is create a cash expenditure budget authorization form. Based on the circular letter of the Director of Finance, Investment and Risk Management number 33/SE/5/6/2017 that's 9th of June 2017 concerning provisions for approval of application for funds from the head office in terms of submitting application for funds for activities to be carried out in work units at the head office. Each work unit is required to prepare a form and RAB or cost budget plan, which is then submitted to the accounting division through a memorandum to the accounting division. The steps that the practitioners take during the process of making the cash disbursement budget authorization form for the Learning and Human Resource Development sections are as follows. First, practitioners makes realization of cash expenditures in the previous month on Microsoft Excel. Next, practitioner makes a memorandum submitting a budget plan for the Human Resource Learning and Development section on the SnapJam application addressed to the accounting division. And next, practitioner fills out the head office cash expenditure budget authorization form. Next, practitioner requests approval for the application of the authorization form to the head of the Human Resource Management Division by asking the division head to sign the available column on the form. And next, memorandum authorization form that has been signed and supporting attachment are submitted to the accounting division for further processing and then obtain the approval of the head of the accounting division. Here is the calculation of the realization of the monthly cash budget. The calculation using the Microsoft Excel application, and this is the process of filling out the monthly cash expenditure budget authorization form. Here is the example of memorandum of submission of monthly budget plan, and this is authorization of cash expenditure budget. This is the example by Human Resource Management. Okay, next, the fifth or the last work implementation is make a honorarium payment application. Based on the circular letter of the Board of Directors of PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia number 97/SE/4/12/2020 concerning provisions for the granting of honorarium to committees or teams implementing certain tasks or activities and allowance, it is explained about the technical implementation guidelines for awarding committee honorariums or teams implementing certain tasks or activities. The provision of this provision aims to maintain conformity, consistency, and compliance with the steps specified in order to meet the requirement and reduce risk while complying with regulation and principles of good corporate governance. The steps that practitioners take during the process of submitting honorarium payment are as follows. First, practitioner identifies in advance whether certain tasks and activities meet the requirements in the awarding of honorariums. And next, practitioner creates a list of honorarium recipients in Microsoft Excel by including the personal data of honorarium recipients employees. Next, practitioners calculate the amount of honor received related to the provisions of the number of honorariums per activity refers to the circular letter of the Board of Directors. Next, practitioners makes income tax or PPH or PPH deduction of 5% of the amount of honorarium received by each employee. And last but not least, practitioners makes a memorandum of application for honorarium payment through the SnapJam application addressed to the head of the Finance and Investment Division and the head of the Accounting Division by including an attachment to the list of honorarium recipients that has been accompanied by a recapitulation of the amount received, a memorandum of proposal for activities and other supporting memorandums, as well as authorization of the cash expenditure budget in the month. Here is the calculation of honorarium, and this is the example of memorandum of application for honorarium payment. Okay, next, constraints, phase, and efforts. When carrying out an internship at PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia, the practitioner faces several constraints that the practitioner encounter while working. These constraints are divided into internal constraints and external constraints. The constraints faced and the efforts that practitioners did includes the following. Internal constraints. First, when recapitulating the realization of cash expenditures of the Human Resource Learning and Development Department, there were several payment submission memorandums that turned out to be revised in the future due to negligence in the calculation process, recording errors, or lack of supporting attachments, so that the realization of cash expenditures become unsuitable. Second, SnapJam application is a special application designed to meet the needs of the company so that at the beginning of the working life, practitioners has difficulty in operating it. So, the efforts that practitioners met are: first, practitioners need to be careful, evaluate work results, understand the flow of job, and understand the inputs and outputs produced, so that when there are discrepancies in the work process, practitioners can directly analyze problems and understand solutions that need to be done. In addition, practitioners are also communicative with the finance and investment divisions, so that they can find information more quickly when there are things that need to be revised in the memorandum for submitting payments. Second, practitioners has the initiative and is independent in doing work. For example, related to the operation of the SnapJam application, practitioner can learn independently by reviewing and analyzing every available feature. In the SnapJam application, practitioner can also learn independently to understand the work process flow at PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia, because in the application there is a note that explains the company's work process. And next, there are 3 external constraints. First, the SnapJam application had experienced a down system and could not access for several days, so that practitioners' work was hampered. Second, some work processes are still done manually, so it takes a long time and accuracy in the process. And last, the payment submission process that passes the ideal time procedure, because the vendor doesn't send an invoice, which is useful as a supporting attachment for submitting a payment. So, the effort made that practitioners do are: first, practitioners think critically in doing work. Considering the SnapJam application, which had experienced a down system, the practitioner will still try to complete the work by not depending on the application. Second, practitioner is conscientious in her work. Given that many work processes are carried out manually, practitioner is careful in every detail of work so as not to require correction, so that work effectiveness is achieved. And last, practitioner is more communicative with activity PICs and activity vendors to ensure invoices have been sent on time, so that payment requests can be processed immediately. Okay, chapter 4, conclusion and suggestion. The conclusion: for 40 days, the practitioner does an internship at PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia. The practitioner can draw the following conclusions. First, practitioner can find out how the procedures and stage in the process of operating the SnapJam application, training payment, giving pocket money, providing internet assistance package, submitting cash disbursement authorization form, and providing employee honoraria. Second, practitioner can find out how the environmental condition and work culture in one of the state-owned enterprises or BUMN. And last, practitioner can learn to be more independent, take initiative, work under pressure, work in teams, set priorities, and strive for the maximum work result. And next, suggestions. The suggestion for practitioners on the implementation of this internship are: first, practitioner must prepare herself with the knowledge and skills to be able to support the implementation of street vendors, especially in the field of accounting, and skills in using application software such as Microsoft Excel. And last, practitioner must prepare themselves to be able to work independently, take initiative, work under pressure, work in teams, determine priorities, and be responsible. And next, the suggestion for Faculty of Economics at University of Jakarta on the implementation of this internship are: the Faculty of Economics State University of Jakarta provides briefing to students regarding the implementation of internship and continues to provide information regarding the availability of places to carry out internship. Second, the Faculty of Economics at State University of Jakarta has a good relationship with existing institutions, so that it can make it easier for students who will carry out internship because good relations have been established. And the suggestion for PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia on the implementation of this internship are: first, PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia continues to hold internship program for students because it is very useful for students in understanding the real world of work and work process. Second, PT Jaminan Kredit Indonesia provides briefing on the culture and work process of the company to students who carry out internship because it can help students to work faster and reduce errors at work. Okay, next here are the documentation while the practitioners doing the internship. Okay, next, maybe that's all from my presentation. Sorry if there are things that are less pleasing. Hopefully there are good things and lessons that you and I can take from the implementation of this internship. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.